Renato Jones, Mon Naturals. Welcome.
Hi, how are you?
So it's a very big pleasure talking to you. And we were hoping that you could just fill us in about your product, your business. So just as a starter question, how would you describe what you do and your business to a primary school child?
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me here. Basically, we have had a indigenous cream in my family for the last 200 to 300 years that we can trace back. And it's basically from Anglesey, and it's a local Welsh cream that was used here at a time where there was no hospitals and no doctors. A time where people would specifically go and see certain people who they knew in the community that could help with certain things. My great grandmother was there for people who had burns and wounds predominantly, and they would go and see her and she would help them out with that. And then it's just been passed down. And obviously we're in the modern times now, and I made a promise to my dad before he passed away in 2007 that I would help commercialise the product for the first time and make it available to everybody, not just the small community here in Anglesey.
Okay. Love that. So, why did you start your business? I feel like you alluded to it in that question.
I guess because I'm been brought up with people who heal people naturally, and living on a small farm and being brought up with old people, then I'm very traditionally orientated, and I like the old natural way of doing things rather than maybe some of the modern stuff, even though there's room for both. And I decided that I would start a company to try and achieve my goals, which is to bring natural products out, not just to commercialise the original one, but to bring new products out and to introduce other natural ingredients that were also originally on Anglesey, and trying to incorporate them into products that can help a wider range of people with more ailments. So that was one of the main goals.
Okay, I love that. So you mentioned the people that were around you as you were growing up being influential to actually starting this business. So how important is having a community or ecosystem around you? You're talking about it in the business aspect, the people that you've been introduced to, the people that you talk to, and in the cultivation of the product.
With it being a family-based company, and it's a product that's made in Wales and made of Wales, because it's actually made of the resources here as well. So it already has the community feel from the start. And we have we have hung on to that. So as the project has grown and the partners have grown with it, i.e. Bangor University, the Welsh Government, Pontio, Bic Innovation, Aberystwyth Uni, Swansea, Cardiff, Trinity, and some other external companies that we work with, we still try and keep it as a community-based project, so that it's a brand Wales and it's a Welsh company, and then we work hard on it's a sustainable product if it's feasible, it's desirable and it's viable. So for us, part of the goal is to grow the manufacturing here in Anglesey, to be able to create work out of this goal as well, and so that this small community-based thing becomes a large community-based thing that incorporates the community on a larger level and potentially the whole of Wales. Because we also work with other indigenous ingredients like hemp and CBD and things like this, which we think is very important, and that's part of the growth of this community project.
Definitely. You mentioned some of the ingredients that are actually in the Mon Naturals, so in the Mon Naturals product. So could you tell us which products you're talking about specifically, and then maybe go into a little bit about demystifying the ingredients that are in it?
Ellie is cream in Welsh.
Okay.
Awen means inspiration, and Enaid means soul.
Yeah.
So we try and keep to a sort of a theme, Welsh theme type scenario.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about both of those creams in terms of.
Okay, so the original one is made out of heather blue slate,
Mm-hmm.
Cambrian blue slate. Very old deposit. There's about 7 different slates in the world. It's quite interesting. It's a bit like the old chakra system in the Hindus, where slate starts with a certain colour and then it gets darker and darker until you get to the purple. There is one darker, which is a black slate, but it's only available underneath the sea. So the highest, the one with the highest mineral quality is the purple slate, which is indigenous to North Wales. There is a small stream of Cambrian off the Alaskan coast, because potentially we could have been connected to them a long, long time ago.
Okay.
Because that is, if you connected the two maybe geographically together, someone might say that they could have been connected a long time ago.
Okay.
And the stream does seem to indicate this. So the Cambrian slate was available on Anglesey at the time of my great-great-grandmother, but their mines now have been closed around Amlwch.
Mm-hmm.
So now the main area is Bethesda, and you get the blue slate there. As you go down further towards Blaine, it'll start getting green, speckledy, grey, and then if you go to Cumbria, it's blue. You can find it in Cornwall, again, slight deviation of the greyish speckled, and then you get the Spanish one, which is like a green.
Okay.
So you've got a full spectrum really of colours, but the really powerful one is the purple one.
Okay.
Because it's got ferrous oxide iron in it on high levels, as well as the aluminium. So that gives a huge frequency vibrational charge within the cell, electrically and magnetically. So I'm just going to give you away a little bit of the academic side, but it's positive ions. So we know that this is still new research, because nobody ever on this earth has done any medical research on slate before. So it's a testament to not just my family but to the Welsh people, how they managed to know that using purple slate within a certain animal oil created something that takes away pain from wounds and burns and actually heals things. Obviously we're still getting medical validation, but we do have a lot of testimonials on this.
That's amazing.
So we're satisfied with that.
Yeah.
The oil comes from a certain animal. We've got no IP, so it's not. It's an animal oil, you know. I am a vegan myself, vegetarian, and I understand why the indigenous, traditional, ancient people used this, because the oil has some really strong medical benefits, even on its own. And there are tests now from Madrid University in Spain that prove that this particular oil is anti-inflammatory. Not antibacterial, but anti-inflammatory. So there's a lot of different angles with the original Ellie Awen that is going to happen. Probably 10 years R&D still on it, to be honest with you, because the two ingredients individually have got hardly no research, and when you put them together, you've got a different animal, you've got a different, different things happening on it, like a symbiosis of sorts. And that's the original. And then we've got the Enaid, and the whole idea behind Enaid was to take away the criticism really for the animal oil, because we are moving away, I think, from using animal products slowly. The animal oil, to be fair to us, it does come from waste product of the animal. Now that waste product would normally be incinerated. So we are helping with the carbon footprint by taking that particular fat and turning it into a medical grade oil.
Mm-hmm.
But it still doesn't necessarily, it doesn't make me completely happy with the product. So we decided to bring out a vegan version. So we matched the fatty acid index, we went through all the compounds of the animal oil and we duplicated it with a plant-based alternative. So that's the first time that's ever been done as well, so that's an innovation in itself.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
And then we've added cannabis to it then. Now that cannabis and hemp, which are proven to have topical, i.e. external, properties towards helping skin, we decided to add this to the vegan as well, just to make it a stronger balm. And that is the way now with Unilever, well, it's an ex-Unilever people who are getting the cosmetic compliance certificate, so that'll be our second cosmetic compliant.
Okay.
That's due now in the next couple of weeks, and then we'll have a vegan plant-based balm with cannabis, sativa seed oil in it, and then that will be our second product.
Since you have told us a little bit about the journey of the two creams so far, what would you say had been the most significant challenges that you've come across?
The original balm wasn't well accepted at first. Probably talking 5 years before we got credibility on it, which was a bit, you know, as a child who's had it used on him and he's seen it since he was 6 years of age, it's difficult to put that across to academics who have never come across these ingredients before. And the challenge has been trying to demonstrate and show them that the product isn't a quack and that the product actually works and has a huge impact on a variety of skin conditions. And it's all natural, it's not liver toxic at all. And we now have had one academic research done on the product, which which the academic results will be published soon in a journal. That was tested on MRHA, Candida, and on certain yeasts and fungus as well, with some really good results. They're medical validations on an antimicrobial level. Because the results are positive, the impact of the product has now been raised, and we now are going on an accelerated programme which is run by the Welsh Government. That's going to start in a month. We're doing the work package at the moment with the Infectious Diseases Department in Cardiff, the Welsh Wound Institute, Swansea University, Cardiff University, Aberystwyth University and Trinity University in Cardiff, and also CALIN, which is the Celtic Life Institute, Life Sciences. So this is a Team Wales. It's never been put together before, and its sole aim is to test the products, three balms, the Eliawen, the Elienide, and a new one that I've also formulated, which is Elienide mixed with slate. So they will be testing the three of them in a 6-month project that will be in the labs and also in the hospitals. And that will be tested on wounds, burns, dermatitis, eczema, psoriasis, antibacterial, anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial, antiviral. Antimicrobial and antibacterial, the same thing basically.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so that's been match funded, so I've got to pay half the cost, and then the Welsh Government will pay the other half. But at least we get medical validations in early 2020 then. that then will be submitted to the NHS, and then realistically by next summer we'll have a contract by the NHS for topical skin conditions.
Okay.
And we'll be able to show them the results from their own hospital, basically.
Okay, so that's major. So, are you saying that those steps are something that? So, I think the original question was the challenges that you face. So, would you say that everything that you've just gone through is kind of like an answer to the challenges?
That's it, yeah. Because the challenge is medical validation.
Okay.
Cosmetic validation proves that it's safe, but it doesn't give it any medical. You can't state, yes, it gets rid of dermatitis, or it can help with this. So.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Another thing that you mentioned was that this is something that was introduced to you as a child, 6 years old. You've grown up with it. So, how has North Wales been a part of this journey? In which aspects do you think the actual point of you being in North Wales has helped this? One of the things that you've said is the clay is literally from here. Mm-hmm. So I don't even know where else could you get it around.
You can't. It's indigenous actually to this area.
Okay.
And there's only 2 to 5% of the clay in the world now, that has medical properties in it. So for us to have that clay in our slate here, it's just, it's a special thing, isn't it?
Mm.
And the ethos of my family was to help these skin conditions. The slate has a really cooling effect, and it helps with severe pain, And when you have someone who's got a really bad burn on their face, and you put the cream on and you see that pain relief within about 8 to 10 seconds, without no synthetic injections or tablets, which are liver toxic, you're getting rid of the pain naturally through just putting something cool on it, which is also repairing at the same time. So that is our clay.
Definitely. So being in Wales, or being in North Wales specifically, where you've got access to this clay.
That's it. Because we've had Chinese partners come now, and then obviously it's going to be difficult to manufacture it anywhere but here, really, because you would have to export the slate, which is heavy.
Are there any other aspects where being in North Wales has been very central, being fundamental to the business?
Well, I think because it's a Welsh brand, it's made of Wales. I think the whole essence of the project is here in Wales, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a community project, and it's gonna, it's great for Wales to have this would be the first indigenous natural product to get back into the NHS in nearly 200 years.
Yeah.
We've, as a society, we've moved away from natural healing, and we've gone into petrochemical, synthetic healing. And there is room for this. When people are really ill, then they need these things sometimes, But I do feel that it's time now to reintroduce natural things, and we're spearheading, as a company, we're spearheading this, really. It's been really heavy to get into the NHS, because they're really got used to not dealing with natural products anymore. And it's great how all the collaborations and partnerships now, who traditionally wouldn't work on this type of project, but have come together to make it really strong and to help it get through. And it's amazing, really.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was going through a couple of the groups that you have partnered with, like the biocomposite one around here, Sure, there's a couple of sustainability groups in the area that you're talking to.
Yeah, most definitely.
Which groups have you discovered support from, unexpected support from, or whether it was expected support from?
Well, when we first went to see Bangor University, we went to see all the different departments. As you know, there's quite a lot of different science departments.
Indeed.
And they've all got their own view on natural healing. So when chemistry decided to come on board, I had thought it would have been biology more, to be honest, rather than chemical chemistry. But yeah, they like the compounds, and we've enjoyed working with that department, and the Beacon project works from them. Callan also works in Bangor University through them. And you've also got the Biocomposites department, which is on the 9th floor of the chemistry block. So yeah, a big thank you to the chemistry department, really, and all its different partners within the block, and you know, so they're the ones that we've worked with now diligently for the last 6 years, just to strengthen the project, and it's helped them out as well. You know, because we all work in biosciences now. We've already changed the academia in Bangor University through our work, because the results are clear. So now academia has to be changed. So that academia hasn't been changed in hundreds and hundreds of years. So we've already changed the academia in Bangor Uni. And not only that, we're going to change even more of it when the next results come through. Yeah, so, you know, they would never have studied natural compounds years ago. It would always have been a different look on the science side of it. So because we're introducing biosciences, which is sustainable and everything, you know, and that leads on then to hemp and cannabis and things like that as well, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, definitely. You said that there has been some support from vegans as a whole since the release of your product. How's that manifested?
We did a project. We decided about 4 years ago to try and use LinkedIn as a project. So I've set a task to sort of work LinkedIn out, basically. Not so much the algorithm side, that slightly, yes, but we decided to try and utilise LinkedIn to its full potential, or to a good capacity. So then I went and I studied how the Americans were working on LinkedIn and things, and from that really I just learned how to get influencers on board, how to grow your brand, how to get your company known, how to engage with people that you would normally get anywhere near, because buyers for companies like Sainsbury's now, to get to their buyer is really difficult. I mean, really difficult. So when you've got all the buyers on your LinkedIn, you know, you've done quite well, because they're only a private message away from going, you know, do you know how many units do you want? Do you know? But that takes a long time to get the credibility for these people to accept you as a friend to start with. And then there's a certain etiquette then of not hassling them and staying in the flow. And then now we've created our own ecosystem within my LinkedIn. Now people want to join my network because of the people that I've got on my network. They don't really come for me now. They come sometimes for who I'm connected to. So it's turned into something really different now. Now the vegan influences now, because we've mixed vegan and cannabis together, we've done something again that's innovative and special, and now we have really big vegan influencers. Royal family from Spain, and just heavy duty people. The guy who does Mike Tyson's cannabis, and you know, some really interesting people to do with the vegan movement and with hemp movement, and it's really good to see these people sort of coming together and enjoying our product, and a lot of them have had samples, they're really impressed, and they're all waiting for it to be launched really. So, you know, what we've managed to do by duplicating the animal oil is you know, I think there'll be more to come from this. It's the feeling I get.
Yeah, definitely sounds like it. So, how has social media affected your business? What's been the platform that you found has been the most effective for you, and how have you used it?
Well, as I'm sort of now in my 50s, you know, I have computers more in the Stone Age, I think, when I was in school. So, again, I'm ex-military, so I haven't really had my background was not being IT and digital platforms, social media. So I've had to learn this, and I wouldn't say that I'm completely savvy now. I'm quite diligent, so when I do something, I will study it. So I guess I use that format as a way of clumsily getting through social media, and I have some nice people that I've come across that can help me with this. And then I tend to, so I've grown my, I've grown all my social media platforms. I prefer LinkedIn as in a business one, but I do use Facebook for the company one, and, it's all growing nicely. And, still a lot of learning to do on that side of things. But I do try and watch and see what works and what doesn't, and try and adapt as I move forward, really.
Last one.
Yeah.
Your one piece of advice to a new business owner, startup, or very quickly summarize the beginning of the business to, I suppose, your activity in the last year, because you define what you've done or starting the business as being in the last year.
My father died in 2007, cancer. And I was a home carer. I had to leave everything, come back home and start looking after him. So I made him, he said that the cream was in our family for a reason. He said that he wasn't disappointed in the fact that I hadn't done anything with it, but he said that it was always going to be down to me because none of the others could speak English well enough. It's as simple as that. We're a very, very Welsh family. I couldn't speak English till I was 12. I had a scholarship when I was 15 to go to university, the only one in Wales, and the reason I couldn't take the scholarship was because I kept failing my English, and I got, in them days it was called a CSE grade 2, and I needed a 1 to go and be allowed to go into uni at 15. And I failed it because of that really set me back. Really, really did. It was so disappointing for my family and everybody. And then basically in 2016, after finishing in university as a mature adult, I set up the business that October to facilitate a partnership with Bangor University, so then we could start a research on the product. So basically we started the company in 2016, but we weren't selling anything or doing anything, and then last August we launched at the Welsh National Eisteddfod in Cardiff our first product. So we've actually been selling 12 months now, really. So Eliawen and our CBD oil, and then our new product will be coming out hopefully in September now. And then my tips for young entrepreneurs, I think multifaceted a little bit. I think you need to work hard, and you need to be determined, and you need to be focused on your goals. You know, where focus goes, energy flows. It's an old saying. and I completely believe in that. You know, have your goals, stick to them, work out what you need to do and work to that, you know, have faith in the process. You know, things are not going to happen instantly sometimes. So patience is a big one, you know. Always stick to your morals, which is really important as well. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm not money orientated. I want to heal everybody. What money comes after allows me to be able to do more in my community. Okay, I've been through material bondage when I was younger, and I've realised that there's more to life than that, you know. Money can come and go very, very, very quickly, but a legacy is how many people you can heal and help in this experience, you know. So, you know, when you have good ideas, another thing as well is to keep some of them to yourself, because, you know, not everyone in this world is nice, and people will steal your ideas, and you have to be aware of this as well. And just be careful who you work with as well. Don't jump in on the first person that comes in, especially when the share's involved and these type of things, you know. And yeah.
I love that. Okay, some pro tips there.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.